50. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app from respective iOS and Android app stores, as the app is absolutely free. And while you download, please make sure to rate and leave a comment because you want to hear from you people. Oh, yes, we certainly most do. And of course, Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV sticks. And Roku 6 is also available on all smart TVs from 2016 forward. So welcome to the show, everybody. And let's introduce, of course, our very cool co-host. And he is the one and the only lead guitarist and guitarist and lead singer of a handful of New York City. Please welcome Mr. Mark Cool Dude Duda. Welcome.
Thank you, brother. Pleasure to be here as always, man.
Yeah, always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So we're waiting for our guests, and of course, until such time they arrive, we'll talk about some other things ourselves. So basically, I've been watching you guys with the handful, working on your new record last little while. And how's it all going? What's anything new new updates on the new record?
Yeah, I guess what's cool is, just to rewind for people that don't know, we haven't put out a record since late 15. We've all kind of done some other projects in between, but off and on over the last 6 years, we've been working on music together. And we've got a 21 song album. It's kind of cool, releasing 21 and 21.
Yeah.
It's our hashtag 21 and 21 for marketing purposes. And we were actually ready to put the record out during COVID, decided to hold on to it. And it ended up being kind of serendipitous for us because like with our last record, we reached out to a bunch of friends to ask them to play with us, accompany us on some songs, and get involved and help kind of push us over the top. And one of those people was Steve Hackett from Genesis, who my co-founder reached out to.
Wow.
And we thought we had the record done, and Steve reached out to us and said, I'd love to play with you guys. And so, of course, we were going to make that happen. So Jay and I put another song together. He soloed on it, and we actually just wrapped that tune up. So we scrapped one of the other tunes that was going to be on it. We're still doing 21 songs. And now we have Steve Hackett on it. We have Jake Sininger from Humphreys McGee on it. We have Cheetah Chrome from the Dead Boys on it. And of course, Bobby Rondinelli and Jimmy Bones. So it's a really cool record. We kind of think we're the only band where you're going to hear that soup to nuts classic rock, right? You'll hear Dead Boys, CBGB's punk with Cheetah, and you'll also hear that progressive vibe with Steve Hackett and that jam band vibe with Jake. And it all makes sense. It all sounds like us. I know you've heard the tracks. The rest of the world hasn't. There's probably about a dozen people that have heard the record, but that's how we say it. It kind of defies easy classification. It's rock, but it's anything we think from like Southern rock at times to punk to prog to heavy metal. So we're looking forward to it. It's ambitious for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a ambitious project. Yeah.
It's our fifth album, man, and it's just time for us to take a couple more chances. And we've got some really cool friends behind us. So we decided to make this happen. So that was cool because we had the record done, and then Steve reached out to us, and now the record's a little different. It'll be out this year. I don't have a release date yet, but I will shamelessly self-promote it on the show when it happens. And we're very happy with it, man. And as I said, I know you're one of the few people that have heard much of what it's about. So,
yeah,
you get it, even though the folks out there might not get it till they hear it. I know you get the diversity of what we do.
Yeah. It really is a great record, and I mean that's really cool. It got Steve Hackett involved too. Like that's like really like wow.
Yeah, it's really cool because
factor.
It's everything. I grew up with my co-founder Jay, and we've known each other since we're like 12 years old. So the music has always been like everything we've ever heard and liked. And I've been more of the hard rock, punk type of guy, and he's been a little bit more of the prog guy. But as you know, I listen to that as well. And, the combination of it over the course of the last 20 years, because it'll also be 20 years since we founded the band. In the course of 5 albums, we've found a way to get it all in there. And we like to think we have our own sound. So whether it's Cheetah on the track or Steve Hackett or, Pat Travers or any of the people we've had in the past, we like to think our fans can listen to it and right away they know it's the Handful.
Yeah. No, agreed. And
just another condiment maybe we add on top of it.
Yeah, a flavor to it all. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So we're excited, man.
No, very cool, man. Very cool. Like I say, I just love that Steve Hackett edition. That's like, wow.
It's wild. And like, first of all, like when Jake Sininger came on board, it was weird to me because, to be honest with you, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And I know he comes to New York and they headline 4 or 5 nights at Radio City, but lots of bands do. I'm not immersed in that jam band scene the way that Jay is. I'm more part of the heavy scene. So he mentioned him. I was like, who is that? He's like, trust me, that Humphreys McGee is big. He's a killer player. And then Jay took me to a show. And during that show, they played like a Metallica song, their own stuff. They started to play Roundabout. And,
really?
I got it. I said, well, okay, well, these guys kind of do a similar thing. So I thought he was kind of far afield. And once we got him, we took 2 steps further with the prog and we got Steve Hackett, and, I'll take every second to promote this that I can get.
Oh, please do.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm sure we'll revisit this before it comes out.
Yeah, right on. We sure will. We sure will revisit again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, I see our special guest arrived here on the show.
Hey,
how you doing over there?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Very good, very good. So actually, Mark and I were kind of debating earlier. How do you pronounce your name?
What did you guys say? I want to know what you guys said.
Okay, I was guessing Zenesoul.
Yeah, I guess like Zenesoul, but
Zenesoul. You got it. It's Zenesoul.
Zenesoul, right?
Zenesoul, is that it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good.
Name is Zenesoul. I write my name real clear like stencil. Don't cut me loose.
Well, hey.
Tired. All right.
Well, let's formally introduce her. Now that we botched her name, sorry.
It happens.
So she is a very much so she is a Canadian R&B soul artist, and she is here from, of course, from the amazing place called Brampton, Ontario. And she's joining us here tonight on our show, Club Tracks. Please welcome Zenesoul. Welcome officially.
Nice. Thank you for having me.
Love the music.
Coming on. Thanks for coming on. Real pleasure. Real pleasure to meet you officially.
Thank you.
So
I know I was excited for today. I was like, pardon?
I was gonna say, you're from Nigeria originally? You're from Nigeria?
Yes. I was actually born in Nigeria. I came here to Canada when I was around 7 years old. So
I see.
Yeah, I've been in Canada since. Yeah.
And you're based out of Brampton, Ontario, is that correct?
Yes, I stay in Brampton. I lived in Toronto for just a couple years, but most of my life I've been in Brampton.
Oh, very good. Very good. Excellent. And so
you guys are in Alberta.
Who's your Oh, sorry?
You guys are in Alberta.
Oh, you're saying? Actually, I'm in Toronto.
And
you're in Toronto.
Mark's out of New York. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in Toronto and Mark's out of New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely a North American show for sure.
International. We're worldwide.
Worldwide show. Yeah,
worldwide.
Exactly. Taking on the world. That's what we're doing here. Exactly. So who are your earliest musical influences growing up for you?
Pardon?
Oh, who are your earliest musical influences when you're growing up?
Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, H.E.R, Jill Scott, Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
My parents listened to a lot of gospel, so Kirk Franklin, Mary. So I
feel like I hear that
a lot.
Bit,
yeah, me too. Yeah.
I feel like I hear that a little bit. Like I'm a big Al Green guy. We'll get to it, but I feel like I heard some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear the influence.
That's a good thing,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And your name, Zenesoul, where that name got originally from? Where did that name come from?
So being Nigerian, we have like multiple names. I have like 3 names. And one of my names is Nene. So Nene.
Mhm.
So I decided I didn't want people to start saying Nene because that would have upset me.
Can we,
So
Nene?
I decided to just so I decided to take the N and I turned it to a Z. The first N, I turned it to a Z, like to the side.
Yep.
And that gave Zen. I chose to pronounce it Zen instead of Zene because I like the idea of Zen,
Yes.
of
Yeah.
the peace and the, you know, unison and stuff like that. So I really wanted to like keep that vibe. And I also found out that it meant music in Hungarian. So I was like,
really?
oh, this just works.
Yeah.
So it was Zen. Then I found out there was a group that were named Zen. So then I added the soul at the end because I put soul in everything that I do. So I decided, let me just put soul at the end of Zen.
Yeah,
And
no, I
that's
like
where
that.
Zen soul came.
No, that's very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. I like that. Very good. Very good. Well, so we're to Mark for a question here.
Yeah. So who do you listen to, by the way?
Like now,
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Snow Allegra.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to Tiana Taylor, Ari Lennox.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. For the most part, I'm usually listening to music from the 90s.
Okay.
Most
Okay, yeah,
of the
I hear
time,
that
I
if
feel
I'm
that,
not listening to Lauryn Hill,
Yeah, I hear that too.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
feel that. But it was interesting that you mentioned the gospel thing because, when I listen to it, I hear that, especially in the way that, the instrumentation is really complementary to your vocal. So you've got a really out front vocal, right? Your music is vocal centric. And it seems like you sing a lot about relationships, right? So I'm always curious, like, is what you're singing about stuff, is it like autobiographical or are you telling stories? Is it a mix? What's going on with that?
I would say it's a mix. It is definitely most of it my stories, but sometimes you have to exaggerate things.
Sure.
In order to show a picture. So most of it is my story, but I do exaggerate some of my emotions.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think, a part of it is the trick about songwriting is to write something that may be about you, but other people can see themselves in it, right? That's what makes it sort of popular. So when I guess I started off listening to 2019's Worth. So that was an EP that you put out in 2019. So the lead track, No Going Back, I mean, that catches me. I'm a guitar player and you have a slamming guitar player on that song. Really does a nice job. You've got some old school keys, the arrangement's sparse. It kind of sets the tone atmospherically for the record. It's a really strong song. And I wanted to ask you, like, instrumentally, that's something that sounds like it could back somebody like Al Green. So what inspired that song? How did it come together? What is it about?
I'll start off with what it's about. Kind of like being in feeling someone when you want someone. Like there's so many times that I'm interested in someone, but I find myself not allowing them in just because of past relationships. So I start to displace whatever feelings I had about the past person onto them. So I start to see them as all the same. So it kind of made me scared to go into their space. So no going back is me saying like, yo, if I do this, if I step into your space, don't break my heart, because there's no going back from that. Like I can't, I'm not going, like there's no way that this is not going to affect me. if that makes sense.
And I mean, and that's a theme for you. I mean, the track Back to You, right? Which is, that's off the new one, right?
It's a cycle.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. I mean, you're tough. You definitely have, you're not afraid to speak your mind, but you have this sort of vulnerability with a song like that or a song like Back to You, where, you're trying to fix the guy. You're trying to, you know what I mean? You're willing to do what it takes to make it happen. So, again, it's interesting to see a lot of this stuff is about you. I think it's really relatable. On that track Back to You, by the way, where does that sit in your timeline? Because that was a single like between the two albums. Is that what that was? Or
yes, it was in between the two. So I wanted to do Afrobeat because I love Afrobeat. Like if I'm not listening to R&B, I'm most likely listening to Afrobeat.
Okay.
So Back to You was me tapping. No, it was my second Afrobeat song. The first one I did was Like That. Back to You was me trying to figure out how to merge Afrobeat and my soul side.
And you did. Yeah. Yeah, because when you listen to the song, and I think Noel probably heard this too, like as the song goes on, right, you have this sort of old school organic horns, but you got a modern loop in there from a beat perspective, right?
Yeah.
And then you're musically blending the two, but then like about 2 minutes into the song, your phrasing changes, right? You hit the Afro beat, right? Your phrasing changes, and you do that leaving the background music to be what it is. It's still got the old school horns, it still has that beat, but you're taking it in another direction with your phrasing. So as a vocalist, I mean, that's pretty unique. I mean, how did that happen for you in terms of singing one way and then another way and then deciding to combine them?
I don't know. It wasn't hard. That was like one of my easy songs to make. And I was very shocked. Yeah. And I was really shocked because I don't normally write Afrobeat. Like it just became a recent thing for me. And and I get scared to write Afrobeat because I don't want to disappoint my people.
No, it's cool.
It's good.
It's cool, good. But it's another challenge vocally because it's not, you're not drawn from the same places. You're not, I'm a singer too. You're not even drawn from the same places physically to produce that, right? So was that something like, are you trained or are you sort of self-taught?
I was never vocally trained. I always used to beg my parents, let me do music. But African parents sometimes don't see, like they don't believe in that. It's all academics. So my dad especially never really supported. He supports me so much now, but then he did not support me. So I never got vocally trained, and I grew up in church, but I didn't grow up in the church choir.
Okay.
Like I wasn't in the church choir as much, nothing. Recently though, I started trying to take some vocal lessons with a vocal coach named Navon, who he does a lot in the city, actually in Toronto. So I don't know if you guys know him, but Navon's really talented. So I'm trying to work with him and do some vocal training, but I've never been vocally trained, and I would love to. But even with the training at time, it feels like things that I already know, but I know that although I know them, it's good to know why I know them. Like why they make the song sound the way it does, so that I could be more intentional with, so I could be more intentional with how I use certain things.
Yeah, I understand. I relate to that myself. Again, I'm a singer, and I probably went 20 years without talking to anybody that I should have spoke to, and then you get to the age where you're like, oh, wow, I want to still be diverse and I want to do these things. I think the hardest part sometimes about training is unlearning the stuff so that you can relearn it. You feel me with that?
Yes, I completely understand, because Navon told me I sing with my teeth. Like I sing, there's a specific way I sing, and it's like there's so many other ways you could sing that's more relaxed.
Right.
But I'm having a hard time doing that because I'm so used to what I've been doing for years.
Right. And it sounds great. So like, I get it. And, I understand what you're saying. Your body's your instrument, your mouth is your instrument. And there's a lot of intricacies there, and there's a lot of things that make you you. So no matter what the training is, you know, you're still you, right? That's your instrument. You're the one that's got to play it. So I get it. But yeah, you did a terrific job, I thought, bridging the two. And I was surprised when I heard you go into the Afrobeat, but it was cool. You know, it was much cooler than just having a breakdown, you know, because it served the purpose of like having that breakdown kind of vibe in the song, but it's way more interesting. So that was cool. Yeah, I commend you for that. Definitely. All right, Noel, hey man, back to you, brother.
Oh, no problem, man, no problem. I was gonna say, like, your voice is very mature voice. Like, when I hear your songs, like, I wasn't expecting to be someone very young like yourself. I was expecting someone a little more even mature in age, because like, very good vocals, superb.
Thank you.
Beautiful songs, gotta say, very impressed, very impressed. Well, I was gonna ask you, because this is kind of forgive my ignorance here, but I was reading up on your press release, I was seeing this phrase, neo soul. I was like, what is that? So can you describe to us what that is, neo soul?
So neo soul comes out of R&B. It's still R&B. R&B is the umbrella, and neo soul is a branch off of it. Basically, it's like melodies that are not the norm. So, like genuine R&B, there's a specific like the melody, you hear it and you know. But like people like Lauryn Hill and India Arie and Erykah Badu and Jill Scott were able to, and even D'Angelo, their type of melodies, their melodies are a bit like, it's not the typical melodies. Sometimes it sounds like even just talking, but but it's melodic. So neo soul is kind of that. It's just the non-typical melodies, basically. Gotcha. That's the only way I can explain it.
Well, it's good enough for me. Right on. I was going to ask you too about the EP Coffee. You had a track on there called Safe.
Yes.
You mind elaborating more on that song? Because that's a great track, and it's a really heavy hitting track, by the way. Can you tell us more about that song?
Safe. The moment I wrote it, it just hit me different. Like it, sometimes when I'm writing music, I don't have an intention of what I want to write about. Sometimes I don't sit there and say, let me do this topic. Whatever the first line that comes out of my mouth when I hear a beat kind of steers me in the direction that I'm going to go. So
I see.
Yeah. And so I was going through a breakup, and it was a very Safe basically explains it.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Sounds like a very toxic relationship you went through there, and
very, very, very toxic relationship. And I just started going in that direction randomly as I was writing. And sometimes after I write a song, I listen to it and I'm like, wow, this is how I'm genuinely feeling. Because sometimes I'm a very busy person. I try to avoid my emotions and my feelings by keeping myself occupied and doing things. So that's how I avoid facing some of the pain that I feel sometimes. So through music is how I speak to myself, how I express and release whatever I'm feeling. So after I wrote Safe, I was like, wow, this is how I'm truly feeling. Like, I need to put this out because I know other people feel this way and don't know how to, they don't know they don't know how to express it. But I know if they hear it, they'll understand. And when I was doing my project Coffee, I had a little meeting with friends and I made like all my songs so far. They weren't done. I was just playing for them so that they can also give me feedback on what they think I should change and like add to it and things like that. And they gave me little advices for all my other songs, but Safe, everyone was silent. After I played Safe, everyone was literally silent and they're like, we don't know what to say. Like, there's nothing to say about it. Like, it's finished. It's ready. It's done. I'm like, really? They're like, it's done. I didn't touch it after that. And then I put it out there and so many people messaged me to say they related so much. And it kind of made me so sad that so many people relate to that. And it's not just girls that were messaging me saying they relate to it. A lot of guys were also messaging me to say they relate to that. And that's just wow.
Yeah. Well, it is very universal, right? We all go through at some point in our lives, right? So no, it is very universal. So I'm assuming that song must have been like very, very for you, like a really kind of relief to get it out of your system, to get that song out there. Because I mean, I'm sure you're holding that stuff back.
I was also scared. I was scared to put it out because I didn't want my partner at the time, well, my partner, which a song was about, to message me or say, you know, why is this out there? Even though I didn't say anything, it just, I was a bit skeptical, but I was like, you know what? I'm putting out my story. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, right on. Good answer. Good answer. Well, back over to Mark.
Yeah, I mean, you always just tell them what it's not about you and just gaslight them.
Yeah, no way.
There, I mean, that's how things happen these days, you know. I wanted to ask you about your process. And I mean, you alluded to it a little bit there. You said something like, when I hear the beat, it's the first thing that comes to mind. So generally speaking, as a songwriter, tell us about how it happens. Is there a melody? Is there an idea? Is there a lyric? Do you listen to a beat first? How do you write?
So generally, I just get a beat that I like. I could start a song with just myself starting a melody, but then getting a beat after would stress me out, because if it doesn't give me the same vibe I felt when I was writing the song, I won't feel it as much.
So you do that from the beginning. I mean, do you work with somebody else to find that beat, or do you do it?
I just do it. I just I just go through beats, and then I know when I like a beat. Like I just, as soon as I hear it, I already know if I can sing on it or if I cannot. Right. So sometimes I will challenge myself, but for the most part, I look for what I know I can do. So once I find that beat, I just freestyle. I generally write in my car. I don't have pen. I don't have paper. I'm just driving, playing beats and freestyling. And then when
sing it into your phone, maybe to keep it when you get a good idea.
So like if I hear something, then I'm like, and I'm very forgetful. So if I say a melody, I just pick up my phone quickly.
I knew it. I knew it. People do it though. I knew it. Yeah, especially if you're driving. That's cool though, because it's a private moment, right? You're in your own like capsule.
And my car speaker is amazing. Like my car speaker, it just surrounds me. I feel like I'm in the beat. Like
no, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I just
you don't even know, like you're not music. Yeah, you're not musically trained. So I mean, you don't necessarily, do you know like this is in B minor, this is whatever. You just literally, you're emoting, right? You're okay, that's killer. So when you work with other people to put the arrangements down, because when I hear these songs, right, you have guitar, you had a couple songs with really good guitar, horns, whatever, arranging those things behind it. Do you do that? Does the producer do that? Do you work with an arranger? How does that happen?
So normally I just get the stems from the producer. And then my engineer, Nate Smith, so he's also a producer. Mm-hmm. So I guess him also being a producer makes it easier for him to be able to move things around to fit the song better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he just uses the stems and move things around. And at times, like I did with the Coffee Project, one of my cousins, he's a guitarist. So he adds little things into the beats at times. So
there's some very good guitar playing.
Yes, but I'm always there when my engineer is mixing the song. So I'm always there and I just do my thing. As long as I'm in the room, if I hear something that I don't like, I will hear it.
And so you're producing kind of as well, right? You're self-produced?
I guess, because if I don't like it, I will be able to say, I don't want it. If I like something, I'll say, and sometimes I hear things as he's playing. I'm like, ooh, can we try this? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a team effort, and sometimes people from my team come to the studio and they give out suggestions too. And like I said, I had a meeting with friends and I played the songs. They gave some ideas of what they think I should change and do and things like that. I'm very open to ideas, but if I don't like something, I'm not going to
right.
do it.
Right. Yeah. So we usually do ask about that, other people's ideas. So the notion of collaboration. I mean, I heard a collab you did. I think it was called Waste Man. I'm listening to it and I was feeling guilty, like, it's really, it's relatable, but I'm a dude. I get it. And that's a collab. So what's the story behind that song and the partnership and why you work with the people you worked with?
So Anika and I met a while ago when I was just starting out in music, and I just loved her energy and her vibe. And a lot of people said we sounded alike. Like some people can't even tell when it's her part versus when it's my part. So she asked me to do a song for her, a feature for her. So I was on one of her songs called Right Now. So then I also wanted her on one of my songs as well. So I already had Waste Man. I had a verse and a hook and the pre-hook at that time. So then I sang it to her and she's like, "Ooh, I like it." So she came to my house and we were actually just here on my bed and she just made the verse right there with me. But she did it all like herself. And then we're like, we have a hit. So then we went to another artist's home. He has like a studio. It's Romeo Wilson. We recorded it at his place, and then I took it to my engineer, and we figured it out there. But that's how that came about. And honestly, I'm so happy it was her that I did it with. I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anybody else. Like, she's just perfect for it.
That's great. It's a pretty special tune. So
it is.
I'm just interested in how that came about. Noel, back to you, man.
Certainly, man. Yeah, right on. I was going to ask you about your current single, That Love, which is, again, really, really great track. So is there a story behind that song?
So after
writing it, recording it?
After releasing Coffee, I kind of didn't want to talk about pain anymore. I will talk about pain in more songs because I don't know, that's just who I am. Emotions are very heightened for me. So, so I'm going to talk about it, but I wanted to put love in the air. Like, I wanted to put the type of love I want out there. I was trying to manifest it into my life. Gotcha. So lately I've been writing a lot of love songs. I have a project coming out soon, probably in May. Now it's looking like May, called Brown Sugar, which is kind of like the side B of Coffee in a way. It's the love side. Cool. It's the evolution. It's the growth. Cool. It's the manifesting of good things in my life. So that love is me putting out there the type of love I want, the type of love that I see in my parents, the type of love that I saw in movies. I watched a lot of movies, and in a way they kind of messed me up because I started living a fantasy. I started wanting exactly what they were showing me. Like, The Princess Diary was my show growing up.
You got sucked right into it, eh? Yeah.
I got sucked right into it. So in a way, it messed me up. So now I'm just trying to put out what I want. And that love was my way of just saying, this is the type of love I want. This is the type of love we all deserve. And we need to stop settling for mediocre love just because we want companionship, because that is not enough. This is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. We should not be settling for anything less than what we deserve. So that love was my proclamation of that.
Well, very good. Yeah, right on, right on. Unconditional love, right on. We celebrate that here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, moving on here. So you find it, like, being a Canadian artist, being the R&B scene, soul scene, is it very supportive for you in that community, being a Canadian in the soul and R&B genre?
Honestly, I don't know. A lot of positive things have been happening for me. I don't really feel any negativity. I feel embraced, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are very supportive. A lot of people say because they see how much hard work I'm putting.
Yeah.
So it makes people genuinely want to support because they're like, you're putting in a lot of work. You deserve the support. So I don't know if it's that, but I just feel a lot of love from people in the arts in the GTA area. Like there's a lot of organizations that are trying to put upcoming artists out there, and a lot of people just reaching out and trying to support. So I feel a lot of love. I would wish that the gateholders would like be more proactive and give more love. But in terms of like the people that I am able to reach, there's a lot of love.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Especially in this climate we're in, eh? You guys get more support.
Oh my gosh. I know COVID really tried it. COVID really tried it. But honestly, a lot of platforms stepped up to try and help in any way that they could. They tried to help the little people in any way they could. Yeah. So honestly, kudos to all the platforms.
Yeah, right on. Agreed. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Okay, I'll ask you too about the song Love and to Be Loved. Yeah, featuring Aaron Ridge. How did you meet Aaron Ridge, by the way?
At Rise. Have you guys ever heard of Rise?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rise is an open mic space. It happens every Monday and Wednesday. So I saw Aaron one time just playing guitar, singing, and I thought his voice was amazing. So, you know, when I hear people and I'm like, they are really good, I just put it in the back of my brain. I'm like, one day, we will unite. So I had him at the back of my brain. As soon as I finished writing the verse and the hook for Love and Be Loved, I was like, I want a male on this. Like, I want a male perspective. Like, I'm tired of my voice on this song. Like, I want a male presence. So then I just messaged Aaron and he was like, I'm so down. And he just like, he sent me his verse. I liked it. I'm like, studio time. We went to the studio. He killed it. And I was so excited for this song. I don't know. And I knew it was good, but I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did.
Yeah. That's a great song. Great song.
Yeah.
Very well done. Well, over to Mark.
Yeah, so I hate to ask about another guitar song, but I'm a guitarist, and it grabs my attention right away. Typically, before you even come in, and there was this song. I think it's called "Is It Someone's Anything?" Is that the name of the song? That's a great song, and it starts, first of all, it's a great guitar part, and you even gave the dude a solo, which. Yeah, he took the solo. It was great. But it's another one of these things where, 1 minute you're talking about, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to have. And this is another one of those vulnerable moments for you, right? And you go right into Safe, which makes perfect sense. But so is this song about you?
Yes. So this song is more about me allowing and accepting any type of love just because I wanted to be someone's something. Like I just wanted to be considered anything to someone. So
right. It's a great phrase. It's a great term. It's very relatable. Those are the good songs though, right? Like we said, people have to be able to hear themselves or see themselves in the song. So I know what I thought when I heard it, right? Because that's going to be all about me. But I was wondering what it was about from your perspective,
Yeah, it was definitely about me just allowing anything. But the guitar solo part, that was definitely my cousin.
That was your cousin. It's great. Yes. It's really great. I mean, it's got a rock and roll sensibility, but in the same way that like when Michael Jackson used to have Slash play, it's appropriate for the song, but it rocks and it's aggressive. Like he made those 4 bars count. You know he's there. You know he's there, and we're here talking about him, aren't we? So, I mean, he did a really good job. So that was cool. It's great. So, does music run in your family like that?
No.
No,
Like,
really?
I did. Actually, which is weird. My brother raps. He's a rapper, and my brother's actually really good. And this cousin, we didn't really know each other growing up. It was a recent, we just recently, my phone. We just recently discovered each other because he was away, like far away, and I'm here in Canada and whatnot. So so when we discovered he played guitar, he was playing guitar on everything. I'm like, put it out here. This one.
Is he the guy that I'm hearing on a lot of this stuff?
Yes, probably.
I mean, to me, I'm like, okay, it sounds like a Telecaster, and he's playing it through this, and I'm hearing it, my way as to why he made. But it's really cool because, he does a great job quarterly to back your songs, and then he rips out a solo like that. And a lot of times you don't hear the same thing from the same guy. So I'm glad we gave him props. He's a good player.
Sure is.
There's also on Safe, there's a producer, Overthrow. He's the guitar player on Safe. He's the one.
Wild.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that again has good guitar work on it,
Sure
right?
does.
Which is really organic because a lot of modern neo soul that you'll hear is predominantly electronic, but you tend to blend beats with organic instruments, right? You got your hands in the earth. You're using trumpets. You're using guitars. So is that an old school R&B? Is that gospel? Where does that come from?
I don't know. I just really love acoustic vibes. I feel like acoustic vibes give more intimacy. It's more genuine to me. So once I hear acoustic things, I'm like obsessed. Like I usually love to strip down my songs into acoustic versions because I don't know, it just means more to me. I used to just write the type of songs I used to write are very conversation starters. I had to realize that I had to change that a bit just because I needed melodies that would catch people, right? So I had to change my style a little bit to be more digestible for the mass.
Okay, it's a good term, yeah.
Basically, yeah. So, but normally before it would just be, I can't play an instrument, which is so sad. If I knew how to play guitar, it's over.
Never too late,
That's right. It's never too late. Is right. That's right.
Never too late. But no, it's really interesting. I thank you for that. Back to you, Noel.
Certainly. So you have plans for another single after this one here? For the next
I'm planning on the project in May. So yes, and that has a lot like that. That project is so many different sounds of neo soul. So many different like Love and Be Loved gives me a different vibe from That Love. Love and Be Loved is more vocal based. That Love is more 90s based. And then I'm gonna have another one that's more like, who would I even compare? Like Erykah Badu vibes, and like another upbeat one. Like there's just so many different neo soul vibes in there. I'm so excited to put it out. So excited.
There's much more to come, eh? Very good.
Well, you've been busy the last 3 years. We can
no
see
kidding,
that.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
I don't plan to stop.
Good.
That's great. No, it's really great. And we hear the progress and everything. It's really killer. Especially lyrically, and that's kind of a really tough part of it, right? I mean, when you first start singing, don't you? I mean, I may be projecting too much, but I think most of us, when we first start singing, we're overly concerned with the sound of our voice more so than what we're saying, right? And then you reach a point where you're like, okay, I need this piece of it. And you realize how important it is,
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wow, my light really went down on me.
Oh, pardon?
My light really went down on me. The sun
Oh
said,
yeah,
I'm leaving.
yeah, same here. It went
It's
pretty
that
dark.
time of day. That's all right.
Yeah, it's
So,
the time of
Yeah.
day. Exactly.
we talked about a lot of your collaborations. Is there anything in store we should know about, or even just an idea you have who you'd like to collaborate with?
Someone reachable or someone unreachable?
Both.
Right now.
Both.
How about both? Because you never know, you know?
I would love to collab with Lauryn Hill. Lauryn
Yeah.
Hill,
Yeah.
if you're watching this, call me, sis. Call me.
Give her a call.
Someone I would love to collab with right now, Jasmine Sullivan, India. If not Jasmine Sullivan, Tiana Taylor, Summer Walker, Ari Lennox, H.E.R.
Awesome.
They're just Snow, Allegra. There's so many amazing soul artists right now.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right there.
Yeah, you're
Thank
in the mix.
you.
You're in the mix.
Absolutely. You're right
Thank
there.
you. Thank you. But there's so many. I definitely would want to do a collab with Nicole Chambers. She's another Toronto R&B artist, and she's really, really, really good. So I would love to do a collab with Nicole Chambers as well. And
cool.
Looney. There's an artist named Looney. She's her voice is amazing. I'd love to work with her as well. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's very good. And I was going to ask you too. So for the basically for your, you have any plans for doing like any live performances online at all next little while?
Online?
Yeah, online performance. Do you have anything planned for online performances this year?
I have an online performance coming up April 30th.
April 30th?
Yeah, April 30th. Waveland. Have you heard Waveland?
I have. Yeah, I have.
Yes. So I have a performance with Waveland April 30th. Don't know of another one off the top of my head right now. I'm just waiting for live performances because I haven't been able to perform like my coffee project or anything. And I'm about to release another project. There's just like a lot of projects coming out without being able to actually interact with people and perform them. So it's kind of sad, but
yeah, it's challenging, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Really
Do you like to kind of crowd test your songs before you record them? I know like when I have new songs, I like to play them before people and see how they react before I decide which one I'm going to spend money on, you know, and record. Do you crowd test new stuff at all like that?
No, I don't, but I do send it to my friends to see what they feel about
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I kind of determined which ones to release as singles based off of like their reactions to the songs.
So it's probably the kind of thing where you have melodies and stuff going through your head all the time. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And honestly, if it was up to me, I'd be putting out so many songs, but I honestly have to be strategic and be picky which songs do I put out because they're not all the greatest, but when it's yours, when you do it, you become attached to it. And you need other people to really tell you, no, that's not it.
Yeah, no, I get that. And you want to make sure you only have so much bandwidth as an artist. So somebody gives you a listen, you want to make sure it counts. So
yes, exactly.
I get it. And you're going to love I get it. They're all my babies. I get it. I know exactly where you're coming from.
If someone says, do you like the song? Obviously, I wrote it.
Right. It's in your head so much that you had to get it out for whatever reason. So this last year, has it been tough or have you been productive?
I've been so productive. I feel like, honestly, COVID it was really stressful, but it really helped me when it comes to the music side, because I was recording already my coffee project before the pandemic started. I already had most of the songs finished. So when they closed down the studios and everything, I was okay because I already recorded it. So I was fine with it. So it allowed me to be strategic with how I released my project. I didn't feel pressured or rushed because the bigger artists were not releasing because they can't tour. And if they can't tour, they're not making money off of their songs. So
Yeah.
now they're holding on to their songs for dear life, and people are not having new songs to listen to. And now I know people are at home and they have the time to actually listen to other people they don't know because they're at home.
That's
So
right.
I was like, this is the time for me to release, and release. Because once the pandemic is over, the big name artists are saturating. They will saturate the music market. So they already started. They already started. So
Don't I know it? I know.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was my time to try and get a little shine before they start.
Good call there. Yeah, good call there. And where can people see more of you on social media? Is it kind of a sense to look up more on you?
Instagram, Zenesoul, Twitter, Zenesoul. I'm mainly on Instagram though. I have Facebook, Zenesoul. I'm not there often, but I have it. And everywhere Zenesoul. I just keep Zenesoul. It's easy.
Yeah, it is easy. Yeah, right on. Very good. Hey guys, we're out of time already, so we gotta call it a day here. But hey, thanks of course coming on, Zenesoul. Great pleasure. Great conversation.
Thanks so much. Let us know how you're doing.
It's please stay in touch with us. And, keep us in the loop. What's going on with you? It's a real pleasure. Hopefully, get back.
Yes, for soon. Sure. I really enjoyed this conversation with you guys. You guys are really cool. Really,
thank
really
you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope to do it again.
You're pretty cool.
I'm not done with my questions.
So many questions. Oh my God. Anyway,
I can tell you have so many questions. I love that you're a writer and a guitarist. Right? You're my type of vibes.
Right on. Right on. Well, thanks for coming on the show tonight. And so thanks, Zenesoul. And thanks, Mark, as always. Always a pleasure, guys.
My pleasure.
And hopefully get you back on the show soon, Zenesoul. And keep
All
it great stuff. We love it. Keep it up. We love it. Excellent stuff. So, folks, thanks for watching this show. And, of course, Single TV. You want to watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. And thank you, everyone. Thanks, gang. We'll see you real soon.
You got it. Thanks, guys.